On our last full day in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, we went to Sault Ste. Marie, a city situated next to St. Mary's River across the border from Ontario, Canada. After a delicious lunch at the Wicked Sister, our family was off to our main destination, to take a boat through
the Soo Locks.
In case you missed that, that's the Soo Locks. What are the Soo Locks? Well, it's probably best to let my kids show you from this little display at the Soo Locks Visitor Center. Let's say a ship wants to come through the St. Mary's River, coming from Lake Huron up to Lake Superior. They would first come through this gate. The water level will then be raised up over 20 feet to Lake Superior water levels. Then another gate will open on the other side to let the ship pass through. It's a huge water elevator for even the most massive freighters coming through the Great Lakes. We boarded the boat, and after a short trip, were given the green light. The gates of the lock opened up for us, and we slowly entered. And right away noticed we were the entertainment for a large crowd gathering on the observation deck above. After being anchored to the side of the lock, the gates behind us were shut, and the water level began to rise. We watched as millions of gallons of water were brought in only about 10 minutes. From there, my family watched as the gates in front of us opened up and we were given the all clear to move through. From there, we went under the international bridge that connects Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and continued up the river. We then circled back through another smaller lock, meant mostly for pleasure craft and other smaller boats. My kids stretched out their arms to see who would be the first to touch Canada as the water levels lowered back down to Lake Huron levels, and the gates opened up for us on the other side. The tour guides narrated not only how the locks worked, but other interesting sights that we could see along the shore. After the boat tour, we headed to the Free Visitor Center, where my kids loved learning about how the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers operates the locks, and a lot of information about how the boats are able to get from, say, Duluth, and pass through the Great Lakes, as well as several canals, rivers, and many more locks, to travel the 2,342 miles to the Atlantic Ocean. Most of the Great Lakes are navigable by themselves, but long ago it was difficult to get through all the waterways that connected these lakes and connected them to the ocean. You had to go through rocks, shallow water, dangerous rapids, and waterfalls. The long system of locks and channels tames these waterways to make even the largest of boats able to get through. Our kids loved learning about the locks firsthand and seeing how much work goes into getting these ships safely through the largest bodies of fresh water on the planet.